if I'm sick and 140 years old, because that's my number I chose, I'm going to live to 140, by the way. If I'm sick and I'm on my deathbed, is Jim Morris, am I going to look to myself and be happy with what I did and how I spent my time on this earth?
Are you?
A year and a half ago, I was not. I've made the changes in the last year and a half, so I will. And I will be happy. And I will be thankful that all these people in my life were part of it over the years.
Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, folks, I got a real treat for you, especially if you like the Doors. Jim Morris is in the building. People are like, no, that's Morrison. No, Jim Morris is here.
That's it, baby.
You like it?
Let's go.
We're missing the on for Morrison.
I'll take it, man. I'm alive and living, and he's not. So I'm one up, baby.
That's a good point. So, folks, Jim Morris is a Bostonian living in Nashville, Tennessee, while constantly figuring out how to raise a family and create amazing opportunities through entrepreneurship. That buzzword, entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Is that you? And then I see you holding microphones, so you're kind of a speaker.
Yeah, trying to help entrepreneurs.
An author yet?
Not yet, working on it.
Dude, how do you hang out with Coach Burt and not write your own book?
I'm on my way. I had to prioritize, and my prioritization right now for 2023 is Impact Effect 23, which is my conference. So next year we'll get into the writing.
This will launch before that conference. So tell people about your conference real quick.
Impact Effect 23. So I've been to multiple conferences over the years, and I want to do things a little different. And I want to help 1,100,100 entrepreneurs before the day I die. And how I've been doing that is I've been throwing events over the years. I started Impact Events in 2020 because I had the vision to help entrepreneurs. I knew the big box companies were going to come in and open and stay open, and all the little guys were going to lose. So I started getting together entrepreneurs in 2020 and realized that through connecting and building relationships has allowed me to grow, but also others to grow in my community. So as we move into 2023, October 27th, I'm really looking to change the landscape of conferences.
October what?
October 27th, 2023. And how I'm doing that is giving access to speakers and vetting the people coming to the conference to ensure there's a lot of people who take action and are looking to build relationships in that room. Because I've been to tons of conferences, been to tons of events, and you don't have the right people in the room, magic doesn't happen. And
how do you vet them?
So we ask questions through the ticket sale process. Every person that we speak to goes through a series of questions. So
what if you answer them wrong?
Then we won't sell you a ticket. This isn't to promote, my wallet. This is to promote and help entrepreneurs by putting the right people in the right rooms.
So you're telling me that you will be declining some people that apply?
Yeah. Yep. And I think that's the uniqueness that's going to explode this brand and explode entrepreneurs' opportunities.
As long as there's integrity behind that, I would agree. Why? Well, because you're curating the audience.
Yes.
And if you curate a good audience, that means the audience is just as valuable as the speakers and everything else. It's almost like a mastermind. It's like a network mastermind conference.
That's it. It's relationship based. There'll obviously be a massive education component to it, but I want to flip it. Right? A lot of people go to conferences to learn from the speaker, and that's amazing. I've learned from you. I've seen you multiple times, right? And you actually taught me to dig a little bit deeper on relationships and that first relationship with yourself. I learned that from you, Brad.
Well, that's 100%. Am I right, though?
5 years ago, you and Ed in this room right now, Ed Milet, is where I heard that come out of your mouth. And I didn't put it into practice until about a year and a half ago. And my life has changed tremendously.
Pay attention, folks. What he's talking about when I say, relationships is the key to everything. Relationships where all the money comes from. Relationships is literally what you think about when you're about to die. You don't think about money. You don't think about your business. You think about relationships. So they got to be important. And the most important one is the one you have with yourself.
Can I ask you a question, Brad?
Yep.
How'd you learn that? And when did you learn that in your life?
I don't know. How? Just,
Nothing happened though? There wasn't a transitional period where you can kind of pinpoint it?
Not really. Just looking back and reflecting on life, you start to make some realizations. And one of the realizations that I made was, if you don't think anything of you, that's the problem. Like, you got to think enough of you. In other words, you got to raise your self-image. Your self-image is the image you have of yourself. It has nothing to do with you and what you think of me. Has nothing to do with society. Has nothing to do with my parents. It's what do I think of me? Well, if I don't think very highly of me, there's the first thing you got to fix. Your own self-image. So I just realized it over time.
That's interesting.
Why do you ask?
Because you're so convicted with that since that first podcast I heard, and since we've engaged and chatted, and I'm just curious. Whenever I hear something that changes my personal life, I always want to dig deeper and understand where you heard it from or where you learned it.
I just realized it, I think.
It's amazing, dude. That's freaking amazing, brother. Like, that's fucking awesome. I had to hear it from you.
Well,
so you've impacted me to make changes in my life, and you probably didn't even know it until now.
And then you're going to impact a million others. So that's the butterfly effect.
I love it. I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's people in relationships. You're asking me about speaking.
What did I say when I first met you in person?
I don't know. I can't remember the first word that came out of your mouth.
Well, then it wasn't very impactful, was it? So what made the impact? It was the like yourself comment, because you can remember that. See what I'm saying? So again, a lot of people are out there running their mouths. Ain't no one remembering what they're saying. So how do you make an impact is you get someone to like remember. Like, I went out on a stage once and told everyone to brush their teeth. Right. And I didn't say that, but that's what everybody remembers. What I said was, a lot of you are out there saying that you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to make a bunch of money and you want to, be successful, and you'll do anything to be successful, but you don't even brush your fucking teeth. Like you walk up to me smelling like shit, right? You ever talk to people with bad breath?
It's awful. That's why I do the Altoids or the gum or the spray.
You're not paying attention to anything else, man. It's just like, God damn, this dude stinks.
You're trying to get away from them, not engage with them.
Right. And that's the opposite of building a relationship.
Yep.
Right. So at the end of the day, you're getting people to run from you when you don't brush your teeth. So I told people on a stage, just brush your fucking teeth. Like, you do the simple things first. And everybody started laughing and they couldn't believe it. And 5 years later, I run into people. Dude, I seen you at that event. I couldn't believe it when you said brush your teeth. Everyone remembers brush teeth. I say, what else did I say? They don't really remember anything else. So what was the impact? Brush your fucking teeth. The impact I made on you was like yourself.
That's it.
First.
Yep.
Did you go on a journey? Did you not like yourself at this point?
I did not.
And so you had to go like what? How do you get to like yourself now?
Well, the first thing is, what I realized was I woke up in the mirror and didn't like what I saw. And who wants to wake up feeling like that, right? And every day is a blessing that we get to wake up and write our own story, right? We're the fucking main character, brother. Like, that's crazy to me that I didn't think of it like that, right? I was always watching other people's story or, focusing on what was going on, and I never really looked inside. So for me, a lot has happened in the last year and a half. I got married. I've had a child. I've made some of the best friendships, relationships. It's been amazing. But the reality of it was in order to portray positivity and radiate positivity, which is something I speak on often, you've got to start with you. And you can feel it. You can feel the energy. You can feel the alignment. When you're having a discussion with someone who knows themselves, knows what they like and what they don't like, that energy, that alignment is extremely different than what I've experienced previously. So once I kind of got all my shit together and was like, who do I want to be? How am I going to get there? When we first started, you were like, I thought you do a lot of real estate. That's what pays the bill, but that's not my journey and why I'm on this earth. And I get to write my own story. And that's when I decided and discovered where I wanted to go, how I wanted to get there. And the biggest thing for me was, who's in my life today that will be a cheerleader and help me in that process? And who's in my life today that I may need to let go or say goodbye to? And that's not a bye forever, but that potentially is a bye for now, because I've got a path and I've got a direction, and I'm putting everything into it I can. And if you're not on board with that or you don't agree with it, it's totally fine. Write your own story. But I'm the main character of my story, and I'm going this way, brother.
That is true. You are the main character in your own story. I'm glad you understand that. If more people understood that, they'd be freaking smiling like you are. How old are you?
I'm 33 years old.
See, when I was 33 years old, I didn't really fully understand it.
At what age did you kind of come to that realization,
I'd
Brad?
say right around 40.
Okay. Did something happen?
Maybe 45.
Was it more just like...
Dude, you know, some people are just late bloomers.
Yeah.
You know, like eventually you learn, you know, people always ask me, you know, if you were 18 again, what would you do? Well, number one, I'd fucking work out. Like, you know, Brad, what are your biggest regrets? People are like, I don't really regret anything because if everything didn't happen to me, I wouldn't be who I am today. Like, that's a bullshit answer. Like, what do I regret? I regret, you know, not working out my whole life. If I would have been working out since I was 18, right now I'd be sitting here buff. But more importantly, my whole entire life would have been better. Why? Because the better shape you are, the better your life is. That's true.
Facts.
So not only that, I would have been more disciplined, and I would have probably created new and better relationships. You know, people say, well, that's pissing on the relationships that you have. No, folks, a new relationship. The reason you don't have what you want right now is because you don't know who you need to know. Because if you knew everyone you needed to know, you'd have everything you want. And so if someone's wondering, you know, do you know the right people? I don't know. Do you have everything you want? Not, I'm satisfied. No, do you have everything you want is the question. Because if you don't, it just simply means you don't know the right people.
As I progressed through life over the years, what I've realized is it's people that move mountains. At the end of the day, a product or service has never helped me in my darkest days to get out of it. And they've never been on top of that mountain celebrating with me and inspiring me and living that moment. A product or a service doesn't do that. People do. So I've realized...
What if the people are the service?
If the people are the service? Well, I guess so. Yeah, that could make sense. But I wouldn't call up a company for that service. If it was a relationship that benefited me, I'd call that person directly, right? Because I wouldn't want a company to give me someone else. I would want that person specifically if I did use a service. So I think at the end of the day, a company can profit off that service, but it's that person that showed up, committed to me, to help me, or to celebrate with me. But I think for me, the biggest belief that I have is it's people that move this world. And if I knew more people, I could accomplish more things. And as I've grown and as I've done bigger things, Brad, the only way for me to do that has been through people, right? You've told me the last time you saw me, you told me, do bigger shit. What are you waiting for? Okay, I'm going to throw a conference. I'm going to change the landscape of this. But Jim, everybody's throwing conferences and there's 1 million speakers and professional development's huge. Perfect, man. That means people are going to do it and they're on top. There's a spot from Jim Morris there. And they haven't come to a conference that Jim Morris has thrown. So, man, I'm just living, brother. I've got a different energy. I've got a different alignment. And I'm just happy. And I'm full of gratitude. You know, this morning I'm looking at my 8-month-old daughter sitting at the Resorts World, you know, looking at a beautiful day, thinking I get to hang out with you. And I'm like, man, how do I lose today? You know?
You can't.
I woke up.
As soon as you wake up, brother, it's a good day.
That's it.
So that's good. So you say Bostonian, living in Nashville. How long have you lived in Nashville?
5 years.
And do you like it?
I love it.
Did you just fly out yesterday?
Yeah.
So did we.
Really?
Yeah, as you know, I've got a home there.
Yeah.
Over there in Brentwood.
Love it, man.
But it was a little bit humid.
It's sticky.
You know, I don't necessarily love the humidity.
Yeah.
So we're going to go down there in the falls and or the spring. Maybe not even the winter. Winter's kind of shitty there, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just dark and gray.
Yeah. I would prefer spring and fall.
Yeah.
I hear it's beautiful.
Fall's amazing in Nashville, man.
And the people there are fun.
They are.
You go downtown a lot or no?
I used to. You know, more so for business than pleasure with the family now.
Yeah, so now you got a little kid, just one?
Just one, my first one, man.
And it has all been in the last year and a half.
That's it.
All because of Brad Lee.
That's it, man. I attribute a lot to you pushing me, brother. And I have gratitude for that. Like true, honest, real gratitude. Not this bullshit.
Yeah, but if you know me at all, you'll know what I'm about to say. Who did it?
I did it.
You did it. You did it, dude. I didn't do anything. I see people are like, oh, you're just being humble. No, I mean, dude, when someone hears something from somebody, doesn't matter who it is, and they give credit to that person, which is nice, obviously, to hear. But at the end of the day, if you didn't do, if you didn't decide, if you didn't take action, if you didn't go change, then you wouldn't be sitting there all happy and shit.
You're 100%
So who
correct.
actually did it? You did it. So who should be thanked? You. Thank your fucking self. That's who fucking you should be thanking. And that's what I mean by repairing the relationship with ourselves. Why? Because you fucking made the choice. You should value yourself more just based on that. Not, oh, Brad Lee, man. He even though I do appreciate it, it's really you that did it.
Did you ever see when Snoop Dogg won that award?
Yeah, I'd like to thank me.
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, that's good.
It's
See,
good.
again, like, why didn't I think of that? That would have been funny. I would have said the same thing because it's true.
But I do believe that you are one conversation, one word, one relationship, one door, one whatever away from changing the trajectory of your life, right?
Facts, which is funny because, again, Ed Milet's Power of One More, and that's who you said you saw us first with, Ed Milet?
It was in the studio, yeah. It was you and Ed. That was the first time I saw you.
And now Ed has a book called Power of One More, and he says the same thing. And by the way, there's more than one person that says you're one conversation, one something away. And it's true. So how come
I believe
more
it.
people aren't out there introducing themselves?
It's crazy.
Which is why someone needs to go apply to come to the Impact event.
That's it.
By the way, where do they do that? ImpactEvent.com or what? You don't own Impact Event.
No, Impact. What's that?
That'd be a good one.
I know. It's impacteffect23.com is the website.
Impact Effect.
Yep.
EFFECT.
23.com.
23. ImpactEffect23.com.
Yes,
That's where they
sir.
can get a ticket
Yes, sir.
or at least apply.
Yes.
Now, when is this? October
27th.
27th. And where's it at?
Downtown Nashville.
Oh, it's in Nashville.
Yes, sir.
So you're going to have a bunch of speakers there?
Yep.
Ooh, is Coach Burt coming?
He is.
Dang. Oh, Coach, everyone needs good coaching life.
Little pray drive for you.
You guys like oh, Coach, because you're both bald headed. Now, have you been bald headed your whole life? Because I can
have
see
not.
that if you didn't keep shaving it, it would grow in.
It would.
You just probably was starting to fade, and you said, "Screw that! I'm going all the way bald."
I love the fact that you're asking me this story because it was part of my transition in life. So there was a point where I was losing this right here.
Yeah.
Right?
As a lot of people do.
At probably 28, and I fought it.
Shit.
I fought it, brother. I fought it. I did the fucking comb over bullshit. I had the windows up all the time with the AC on because
Why?
if this flew to this side, I'd look like I was missing hair. I shit you not. And it's funny because
You were worried about everyone else's opinion.
I was. And my wife, I told her, and I said, I'm going to cut it off. And she said, I support you. I don't care what it looks like. And that was such a relief. I was doing this for years, trying to fix it for everybody else. And we were down in the Smoky Mountains.
You said trying to fix it.
The Smoky Mountains in Tennessee on vacation. We're in the hot tub in the little cabin looking at the mountains. And we got the buzzer, shaved it right off on the back deck, and I haven't looked back since.
You've been bald since.
And I've actually helped multiple people do the same thing. A lot of people, I posted a reel on Instagram that a lot of people DM me, said, man, I'm going through the same thing. And I'm like, let's go, baby, shave it off. I'm with you. Your wife ain't going to leave you. Your brother isn't going to hate you.
That may not be true,
Your
though,
best
dude.
bud.
Don't say that. That might not be true.
I mean, if that's the case.
That's not what you're saying, though. You say your wife ain't going to leave you. Shit, dude. There's some dudes out there, they shave their beard and their wives are gone.
That's crazy. I feel bad for that situation.
Well, that's what, and that is the situation.
It is.
So what does that tell you?
In my personal opinion, you married the wrong woman or man.
100%. Well, if you married a man and you're a man, well, at the end of the day, to me, you got to love yourself first. Then you can allow others to love you and or even, be lovable, if you ask me. Because, dude, there's people that like, fuck the hair, dude. Like, who cares? Like, do you like yourself bald? And if you're like, fuck yeah, I think I look cool. Well, then that's all that counts. But like, to me, dude, if I started going bald, I'm going to first go explore, like the Bosley Institute or, where they stick the hair in. Well, because, dude, in the Marines, they shaved my head and I fucking looked ugly as fuck. I was so ugly. Like, dude, you heard the story of, who's the Rapunzel?
Well, let's hear it. I want to hear the relation to it.
The whole Rapunzel story is like the hair was the power. So it's like, I feel like if I shaved my head because I started, fading and getting bald and I just shaved it, I'd look worse. So I'd have to go get like plugs or something. Now, not bad ones. It'd have to be good ones. But I'd want my hair there. Why? Because I've seen myself bald, bro. And it ain't a perfectly round head like yours.
You're doing good over there, though, brother.
Well, I'm hoping I'll never go bald.
I mean, look at you, dude. I don't see any missing Jim Morris's right here.
Oh, no, dude. What are you talking about,
Come on, that's
dude?
fresh right
Shit,
there,
what are you
baby.
talking about, bro? Like, that's fucking... It's been like that since I was young, too. So, I mean, it fades back there, though. But to me, I don't think I'm going bald. I don't think I'll be bald, ever. Thankfully. I want to be one of those old white-haired dudes with a big, thick, full head of hair.
Let's go, baby.
Now, if you had the choice, would you prefer hair or do you like the bald look now?
I love this.
Is it something that makes you stand out?
I don't really think about it, man.
What's your wife think? It's been how many years now?
Since I married her or since I cut my hair?
Since you cut your hair.
About a year and a half.
Oh, so it hasn't been that long.
No.
So again, like you ever see somebody with a mustache forever and then they cut it and it looks weird?
Yes.
Because you're used to them with a mustache?
Yep.
I think it'd be weird if you came in here with hair.
See, I love that. I love that.
Well, because I've seen you that way. Like Coach Burke, can you imagine him with hair?
I have no idea what he would look like, man.
Dude, he would
imagine
look
if he
weird.
had a mullet coming out of the...
But dude, he would look weird, I think, because of that. And see, in your mind, you're thinking everybody's going to think what I'm thinking. Oh, I'm worse. I'm ugly. I'm this. Like without hair, I'm fucked. Who's really thinking that?
You. And only you.
That's the bottom line. And that's what people got to realize. Like, see, that's just a freaking self-image problem. If I started losing my hair, shave the shit off and keep going, and nobody would give a fuck except me. And if someone does give a fuck, which is where this all started, you're with the wrong people.
That's
like,
it.
Get rid of those idiots. If they're with you because of your hair or your money or your, whatever. Like sometimes, we get blessed with all the different things that keep people happy.
That's it, man.
So if they're with you for just that shit, you're with the wrong folks. And 9 times out of 10, people are with the wrong folks because they haven't built that relationship with themselves. Because once you get to a relationship with yourself, dude, you can quickly and easily spot the people that need to be eliminated.
That's been the biggest transition of my life, brother.
So
once I know what I want, I know what once I know who I am, I know what I want. I know how to, I'm navigating how to get there, right? I may not have all the answers.
You're only 33, dude.
But I'm trying.
You got to learn.
And I know that people are going to help me along the way, but I'm going to have to take that action and do work. And that's the whole basis of me throwing this conference and trying to do it a little bit different is if I can put the right people in the room that can benefit each other, my goal and my hope is people will leave and take action. The other thing we're doing with the conference is we're bringing back the speakers for 4 more events because I believe one day, one conference doesn't change your life. You need to take action. That will motivate and inspire you that one day of the conference. So the conference being October 27th, we're going to take November and December off, and then we're going to throw an event, one in January, one in February, one in March, and one in April. And the speakers are going to come back, 2 speakers for each of those follow-up events, and do Q&A live in person. Because when you learn all these techniques, skill sets, you get inspired, you get motivated, and then you go back to your business, right? And you hit roadblocks because you may educate and teach me something, but then I go to implement it and I'm at a different life cycle where it may not work, or I don't really know how to navigate it and put it into effect. Or there's a different demographic or whatever, right? Based on your specific business. So I want you to go implement and take action for 2 months and then come back to us and ask your questions for those specific speakers.
Now, is this not going to be extremely expensive, I bet? Is it going to be extremely expensive to go to this thing?
$2,000 tickets for VIP, $500 for general admission.
That's not expensive right
especially for 5 events, live events.
Oh, that's for all of them?
That's for all of them. I'm trying to make an impact, brother.
Damn, dude. That's freaking pretty damn powerful right there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, like that's a good one. So if I buy my ticket for $2,000, I attend all of them.
Yes, sir.
That's freaking awesome, dude. Make a note of that right there. And it's October 27th, you say?
Yes, sir. The whole goal is really to over deliver. You know, I made a promise to myself that I would 25x minimum the value for the ticket. I made a promise to myself that I would do something different that allows the results to come into play if you take action and give you multiple opportunities to ask questions. Because I went to a conference, Albert Preciado's last year. Driven. And I saw you, behind
I'm at
stage.
all of them, aren't I?
And, you know, that was right at the time that the baby was going to be born in a couple months from then. And, you know, I really went back after that conference to Nashville and implemented and got stuck and asked Albert a question and he answered it. And it was extremely helpful, you know?
What was the question?
It was just, when you're not winning all the time, how do you get over that and keep going?
What'd he say?
Just keep pushing forward and you'll always win.
Now see, was that rocket science?
It wasn't.
Why do you think you couldn't come up with that all by yourself?
Whenever I'm stressed out or I got a lot going on, whether it's physical, and actually, you know what? You just talked about this in something you just dropped, or someone on your podcast recently, whether it's business or physical or anything, that stress increases and I don't make sound decisions. So for me, I try to figure out that stress and limit it. So I think the reason why is because I was just in the weeds and I didn't have enough perspective because I was stressed out at the time. I had a lot going on. First child, new marriage, this conference I'm personally putting up all the money for. I've used every dollar I have because I believe in it. I've maxed out every credit card I have because I believe in it. So I think in that situation, I was just stressed out and I needed some guidance to see through the shit. I was in the shit. And I still am. And I'm always going to be. And that's something I learned along the way as well. Peaks and valleys, man. It's ups and downs. Life is never this. And that's straight bullshit. And perfection doesn't exist. It's not real. So I'm always going to be like this. And I got to start getting comfortable with those peaks and valleys.
You don't believe in God?
I'm not sure what I believe in. So right now in my life, I believe in relationships in 3 different categories. One with yourself, relationships with others, and relationships with spiritual. The first 2, I've been really focused on and working on. The third, I'm exploring right now. So I do believe there's a higher power, if that's God, if that's energy, if that's whatever. I don't know yet. I'm still investigating that in my life at 33 years old right now. How about you? Do you believe in a higher spirit? Do you have a relationship with God?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did that come?
I wouldn't say a relationship. I mean, we define relationship, because I'm not a holy roller. I don't go to church every Sunday and Wednesday or whenever churches are.
Friday nights at midnight.
But I have a relationship because the definition of relationship is, it's almost like, you know, when someone says I'm not on a diet, you're always on a diet, technically, by the definition of diet. Like that's just, what are you eating? Are you eating? Yeah. Well, then you're on a diet, right? It's just a shitty diet, but it's a diet, right?
Not one that keeps the weight maintained.
It's a diet. So, I mean, like, I have a relationship with God by definition of the word relationship. The question is, you know, is it a good one? I don't know. I guess I'll have to wait and die first.
Yeah.
I believe it is. According to the scripture, you know, I'm going to be just fine.
Did you have a relationship with yourself before God, or did God come before you identified that loving relationship with yourself?
I think there was a blend.
Okay.
Because again, to me, I believe there's a higher power. Everything's too flawless to just evolve. Now, again, do I believe in evolution? A little bit, but I think the evolution was intentional. You know what I mean? Because everything's too perfect, bro. Like, think about, do you believe in other dimensions?
Yes. I just don't, I can't give you a label. That's where I'm at in my identity of all this. I'm exploring different paths.
Are you afraid of being wrong?
No.
Well, why don't you just pick one?
Because I don't just pick things. I want to logically be informed to make a decision. That's how my brain works. I need to acquire enough information.
Have you ever read a book called A Case for Christ?
I have not.
A Case for Christ. Go get it. It's a guy that set out to prove there was no Jesus. There is no God. And he literally set out to prove that. Prove it. And he proved that there is, according to himself.
Okay. So he started one way and completely navigated to the other side of the spectrum by the end of the book?
Yeah, I mean, the book basically turns people to Christ. It's called A Case for Christ. He was going to prove against it. But then again, you ask Jewish people, do you believe in Jesus? They're like, yeah, he existed, but he wasn't the prophet. Like, the prophet's still coming. Well, who's right? Who's wrong? Who knows? Look, talk to the Buddhists, talk to the Scientologists, talk to the, there's all kinds of different religions. Who's right? Well, if you ask me, I think they're all right and they're all wrong, meaning it's splinters of the truth. But is there a truth? Yes. The question is what is the truth? I don't know. That's the truth. I don't know what the truth is. And I'm seeking, and that's what the scripture tells me to do. So I'm seeking, and I'm hoping one day when I die, I will not be incorrect.
To talk about death has been very transformative in my life as well. I think that's, to bring it back to when you asked me about, liking myself, that mortality had to come into play a lot in those conversations. Is Jim Moore, if I'm sick and 140 years old, because that's my number I chose, I'm going to live to 140, by the way. If I'm sick and I'm on my deathbed, is Jim Morris, am I going to look to myself and be happy with what I did and how I spent my time on this earth?
Are you?
A year and a half ago, I was not. I've made the changes in the last year and a half, so I will. And I will be happy. And I will be thankful that all these people in my life were part of it over the years.
Now, when you say I will be happy, that infers that you're not currently.
I still got some things I want to do in life.
Yeah, but dude, happiness is a choice. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
You will be happy when? No, you won't. If you're not happy now, you won't be happy then. You just think you will.
Well, I think for me, like, happiness, I haven't experienced all the happiness. For instance, like, my wife and I were talking this morning, like, how cool is it going to be when our daughter is running around the pool and like jumping in and things like that, right? So that's a piece of happiness just based on time that I haven't experienced yet.
Yeah, but someday that'll happen and then you'll be happy.
I'll be looking to the next thing at the next stage.
You'll never
the next
be happy,
element.
dude. Trust me, you'll never be happy if you keep thinking the way you're thinking.
I like that.
You're not going
Thank you
to
for that, Brad.
You're not going to be happy. You choose to be happy during the journey that most people are on to become happy. And then they die and they're never happy. And they never find happiness because they don't realize that happiness is a choice. It's a choice.
There the whole time.
It was there the whole time. You had to choose to be happy. If you'd have just understood what I'm saying and said, fuck it, I'm going to choose to be happy right now. I'm going to choose to be happy in a shitty situation. I'm going to choose to be happy with no money. I'm going to choose to be happy with money. I'm going to choose to be happy because happiness, in my opinion, is a choice. So when you say I will be happy when, you're heading down the wrong, lonely path because that'll never happen. I've learned that it never happens. I'll be happy when, and then that happens, and you're like, well, now I'm happy when okay, now I need to be happy when, and then you start rationalizing, well, it's okay to, have more goals and like, no. If you spend your whole life and you cannot say you were happy, I think I'll be able to say I was happy after I die. You won't if you can't say it now.
Today.
Like, dude,
thank you for that, man.
You got to be happy.
Thank you for that.
You're damn welcome.
That hits. That hits right here. Thank you for that, man.
Hey, dude, I make impact on people.
Let's go, baby.
So, listen, the real Jim Morris, by the way, the website, The Real Jim Morris, and at The Real Jim Morris on social media.
Yes, sir.
Now, did I have any influence on The Real? Or were you The Real way before you knew me?
It was before you.
Oh, because again, when I got The Real Bradley, someone took my Twitter name, was messing with me. So I had to get The Real Bradley. And now I see The Real Donald Trump, The Real Jim Morris. Everyone's using The Real.
So for me, it was, there's a movie, The Rookie, and the guy's name is Jim Morris. So I didn't want to be confused because my baseball career ended early when my parents didn't have enough money to send me to college. So I didn't want to be confused. That was a pain point in my life. I was very angry about that. I got a scholarship. It was supposed to be a full scholarship.
For what?
For baseball. And they gave me $30,000 instead of the full 35. And my parents couldn't come up with the money. So I scrambled and went to community college because I knew if I didn't go to college, man, I'd be stuck in my hometown forever and doing drugs and around a lot of people that are still sitting there today doing that shit. So part of that process, there was a lot of anger and a lot of details I can go into, but I don't need to go into, but I wanted to separate from that person because I wasn't the Jim Morris who got the scholarship and got to go play baseball and potentially, do that as a career. So I wanted to separate. So every time I put Jim Morris in, that motherfucker kept showing up. It kept pissing me off. So I changed it to The Real Jim Morris. Yep.
I like it. Let's see. Networking, mindset, real estate investments, sales, marketing. These are key talking points that my team's telling me I could bring up with you. What do you believe about mindset?
We have a ton of negative thoughts naturally that come into play in our brain. And I've allowed those negative thoughts over the years to win the battle. And once I realized that you can't have a negative and a positive thought at the same time, and you actually can control your mind, which can potentially control your outcome of things.
Not potentially, it does.
That was a huge, huge piece for me. So I like to talk about the concept radiating positivity in a negative world.
So I'm surprised you don't have a book then.
I'm working on it. 2024, brother.
So 2023 is the event.
Yes, sir.
2024, the book's coming.
Yep.
You're just a budding guru.
I'm working on myself a lot, and in turn will help others through that process as well. So yeah, I'm going to keep grinding, man. Just keep on working and seeing where this life takes me. I'm excited.
Well, dude, I want to have you back one of these days and we'll see how you turned out.
I would love that. Thank you.
And I'll bet you if you re-listen to this episode, you'll think when I did the happy point I made, you'll be like, dude, that son of a bitch was right again. Why? Because I'm an old dog, bro. Like, you're 33. Were you smarter now than you were at 23?
100%.
You think you'll be smarter at 43?
I can't wait.
Well, I'm 54. So imagine how smart I am.
I'm getting better looking and smarter, man. How can I lose in this world?
Well, that only goes for so long. Like I got better looking the whole time. Now it's starting to head back the other way.
You're on the decrease.
Yeah, pretty soon you're like, oh shit, dude. Now you're old. You ever look back in the mirror, dude, and you're old?
But remember, man, you can get the hair plugs in those peaks and valleys. You're just going in a valley, and you're gonna come up with those hair plugs and on the peak, brother. You got this.
Eventually, dude, you're just an old motherfucker.
An old wise motherfucker, though.
Yeah, but you're old. Like eventually you're old. There's nothing you can do about it.
What age is old, do you think?
I don't think it's an age. I think it's a you know, I don't want to say result. It's an existence. In other words, like, you know, pretty soon you get age spots on your skin and your forehead. And then pretty soon you got, you know, freckles. And then pretty soon it's like, you know, you're an old mofo. Like your shit drags. There's no more collagen left. Your ears are huge. Your nose is bigger than it's ever been.
Yep.
You know, your eyes are yellow. You fucking live so long, your eyes are yellow. You ever see those really old people where their eyes are like yellow
and super bloodshot eyelids?
And by the way, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And their nose is all red. And well, that's because they drank their whole life, right? Which, by the way, are choices. That's why I say age isn't a number. Like you've seen 80-year-olds that look great. Who are some really old people that look great in my mind?
I was just visiting my
Dolly Parton. How old is she?
112.
How old is Dolly Parton? 77, and she looks great. So is 77 old in my book? Yeah, but like not for Dolly. Dolly looks great. How does she feel is the question. I want to be 150 years old and feel like I do right now. And what if I looked like I do right now because I took care of my skin and technology came around and you have procedures now that you could just literally stay the same as you are now forever.
It's crazy.
200, 300, 400 years. What about when people are living 400 years again? People say, oh, that's crazy. Dude, think about flying. Before they flew, they said that was crazy.
I like crazy.
Living to 400, dude, that's called health and technology and modern innovation. I believe with the cloning and the shit that's happening now, you'll be able to go freaking get a brand new shell. You know, your other shit's a problem. Boom.
Would you do it? Would you get a new shell?
Absolutely.
Would you? Well, let me ask
right
you
now,
this.
if the vampire came and said, dude, I'll bite you and you can be a vampire, which means you'll never die, I'd do that.
Why?
Because imagine how much time you get to perfect shit. It'll be like 500 years and I'll just be looking the same, except maybe I got glittery skin. And I'll be sitting there looking the same, but I never die.
If you know you're never going to die, would you still have a rush on perfecting shit, though? Or would you just keep pushing it off because you can do it whenever the fuck you want because you're going to exist forever?
No, I'd start, I'd start immediately.
I figured you would.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what most people need to do. Start immediately. If you're listening to this podcast, for example, and you're thinking, man, I need to do some shit. Dude, start. It's a decision. You're one choice away. We're one decision away. Some people say, you're one relationship away, you're one conversation away, you're one all this away, which is true. It's true. But at the end of the day, I say you're one decision away because you got to decide.
I like it.
And then Coach Burt says, decide means to kill off. I've been looking and I've never found that. Where'd you find that? Where did he find that? Let's ask him next time we see him.
Yeah.
We'll see him at the old Impact conference. ImpactEffect23.com. Go get yourself tickets. Follow Jim, my man Jim here, the real Jim Morris. Morris, just like it sounds, Morris. Appreciate you coming in, buddy.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate spending time with you as always.
One of these days we'll have you back and see how you done turned out.
I love it, man. That'd be amazing.
Folks, until next time, keep it real.
The key, which is the source of the content, most people miss altogether. Okay, you have to be the content. Don't try to think up content, just be the content. What does that mean? That means you are the content. Don't try to think up what to say and what to do. Get a camera guy or girl, mine's right there,